Hi, and welcome back to Deborah's Glad Tidings. Today's story is dedicated to a really close friend of mine, Gigi's Gluten Free Lab. Proverbs 18 and 24 talks about friendship. I'm going to read it to you from both the New King James Version and then the NIV, the New International Version. The New King James Version says, "A man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother." And the NIV, the New International Version, says, "One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother." And although we know that the Bible is referencing Jesus, as being the one that we can rely on as a friend to really stick close to us, to really be a genuine friend. But today I'm celebrating my friend, Gigi, who is closer to me like a sister. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with our story. Once upon a time, many, many years ago, there lived in Atlanta two friends named Gigi's Gluten Free Lab and Deborah's Glad Tidings. These two young women were down like four flat tires. They loved each other like sisters and were always together. No cross words passed between them. If they had a disagreement, they agreed to disagree, and no unkind thoughts marred their friendship. Nothing could mess up their Thursday vibes. Many tell of their unselfishness and of how 7 Lex Ferry gave them the true reward of virtue. One story alone wouldn't be enough to show how strong their friendship was and how far their goodness went. It was a bright, beautiful day in early spring when Gigi's Gluten Free Lab and Deborah's Glad Tidings set out for an outing together. They were tired of the city's noise and hustle and bustle and kicking it with Lynn. "Let us go south into the heart of the Barrel Boy Woods," said Gigi's Gluten Free Lab lightly. "There we can forget all about the cares of this world, and we can breathe clean air and the sweetness of the flower plants and lie on the moss-covered ground." "Good," said Deborah's Glad Tidings. "I too am tired and need to get away. The Barrel Boy Woods is an excellent place to go." She felt she would be inspired to start her new book there. Happier than two lovers on a holiday, they passed along the winding roads as their eyes turned in longing towards the distant treetops. Their hearts beat fast as they anticipated getting away from the city's hustle and bustle as they drew nearer and nearer to the Barrel Boy Woods. "For 30 days I have worked hard, and after looking over my financial books, it doesn't seem like I've worked at all," sighed Gigi's Gluten Free Lab. "And for 30 days I have not had any rest. My head is stuffed so full of things to do that it feels like it will burst if I don't take a break. Oh, how I have longed for the moment to inhale and breathe clean, pure air that blows through the evergreen trees in the Barrel Boy Woods." "So do I," added Deborah's Glad Tidings sadly. "I have been cooped up in the house like a prisoner from these world crises and the pain from my health condition. I have found it just as dull sleeping all the time as you have found working all the time, Gigi. My husband doesn't treat me badly, said Gigi, but it seems like a good idea sometimes just to hang out with my girl. They came to the border of the woods, crossed a little stream, and there was nothing more than back rows and bass among the trees and shrubs. For many of hours they rambled on, talking and laughing, when suddenly, while passing around a flower plant directly in the pathway in front of them, they saw a lump of gold. Look, said both, speaking at the same time and pointing toward the treasure. Gigi's gluten-free lab stooped down and picked up the nugget. It was nearly as large as a lemon and was very pretty. It is yours, my dear friend, she said, while handing it to Deborah's Glad Tidings, because you saw it first. No, no, answered Deborah's Glad Tidings. You are wrong, my sister, for you were first to speak of it. Now you can never say thereafter that the good fairies have never rewarded you for all your faithfulness and giving, said Deborah's Glad Tidings. Repay me for my faithfulness and giving, said Gigi's gluten-free lab. Why, you are just the same, my friend. Do we not serve the same God who says he will reward those who diligently seek him? No, the gold is yours. I insist upon it, said Deborah's Glad Tidings. Think of the many sacrifices you have made also for others. How is this? Take it, she said, laughing. May it be the nest egg by means of which you may hatch out a great fortune. They joked for some minutes, each refusing to take it for herself, while trying to determine if it was trash or treasure. Each insisting that it belonged to the other. At last, the chunk of gold was dropped in the very spot where they had first spotted it, and the two of them went away, each as happy as when they arrived there, because Gigi loved her friend more than anything else in the world. Once again, they turned their backs on a chance of quarreling. It was not for gold that we left the city, explained Gigi's gluten-free lab warmly. No, replied Deborah's Glad Tidings. One day of peace and quiet with my close friend is in the Barrel Boy Woods is worth 1,000 nuggets. To them, these were magic moments that money couldn't buy. They felt they were just so blessed to have each other as friends. Let us go to the spring and sit down on the rocks, suggested Gigi. It is the coolest spot in the whole grove. When they reached the spring, they were sorry to find the place already occupied. They saw Jolo fishing, and a friendly black man was stretched at full length on the ground in the area where they wanted to sit. Jolo was fishing like a local, and the man didn't seem to be living a camper life. He looked like an illegal outdoorsman. Wake up, fella, cried Gigi's gluten-free lab. There is money for you nearby. Up yonder path, a golden apple is waiting for someone to go and pick it up. Who are you? He asked. I'm Gigi, she said. Where do you say it was, Miss Pretty Gigi? Then they described to the unwelcome stranger the exact spot where the treasure was. He said, Bye, my beautiful queen, and went on his way. They were delighted to see him set out eagerly in search of it like he was Expedition Greg. They said in unison, "'Bout time," as he walked away. For an hour they enjoyed each other's company, talking of all the hopes and ambitions of their future, and listening to music by DJ Storms and the sounds of bird and hummingbird as they hopped about on the branches overhead. Suddenly they were startled by the angry voice of the man who had gone after the nugget. "What trick is this you have played on me?" he said. "Why are you messing with my Thursday vibes? Making a poor fellow like me run off for nothing on a hot day like this." "What do you mean?" asked Gigi's gluten-free lab in surprise. "Did you not find the fruit we told you about?" "No," he answered in a tone of half-hidden rage, "but rather a monster snake, which I cut in 2 pieces with my blade. Now Sharonda the goddess will bring me bad luck for killing something in the Barrowboy Woods. If you thought you could drive me from this place by such a trick, you are mistaken. I was in this spot first, and you have no right to give me orders." They weren't trying to trick him. They just wanted cozy relaxation. "Stop your fussing. We thought you were a friendly old man." He proceeded, and then Gigi cut him off by saying, "Let me put my 2 cents in. Here, take these couple of dollars for your trouble. We thought we were doing you a favor. If you are blind and couldn't find it, there's only yourself to blame. Come, Deborah's glad tidings. Let us go back and have a look at this wonderful snake that has been hiding in a chunk of gold." Laughing merrily, the 2 friends left the man and turned back in search of the nugget. They just wanted to keep it light and love. "If I am not mistaken," said Gigi's gluten-free lab, "the gold lies just beyond that fallen tree." "True, we shall soon see the dead snake," said Deborah's glad tidings. Quickly they crossed the remaining stretch of pathway with their eyes fixed intently on the ground. Arriving at the spot where they had left the shining treasure, to their surprise, they saw not the lump of gold, not the dead snake described by the man, but instead they saw 2 beautifully golden nuggets. Each were larger than the one they had seen at first. Each friend was super smiley and picked up one of these beautifully made treasures and handed it joyfully to the others, saying, "At last, 7 Lakes Fairy has rewarded you for your unselfishness," said Gigi's gluten-free lab to Deborah. "Yes," answered Deborah's glad tidings, "by granting me a chance to give my deserving friend her just reward." Up until then, they had peace, love, and hope, and each other's friendship. But the two nuggets were just key for both to live it up. They didn't have to keep up with William Seraphin, because they can both live beloved's life rather than living like frugal granny. That concludes my story for tonight. The characters in the story are Gigi's Gluten-Free Lab, Deborah's Glad Tidings, Thursday Vibes, Seven Legs Fairy, Kicking It with Lynn, Barrel Boy Woods, Flower Plants, Be Inspired, Back Roads and Bass, Trash or Treasure, Magic Moments, Just So Blessed, Jolo Fishing, A Friendly Black Man, Fishing Like a Local, Camper Life, Illegal Outdoorsman, Pretty Gigi, Beautiful Queen, Expedition Greg, About Time, DJ Storms, Bird, Hummingbird, Sharonda the Goddess, Cozy Relaxation, My 2 Cents, Light and Love, Super Smiley, Beautifully Made, Peace, Love, and Hope, Just Key, Live It Up, Keep Up with William Seraphin, Be Love's Life, and Frugal Granny. Those were the YouTubers featured in our story tonight. I was really surprised to get so many characters in such a short story, but those were all the YouTubers featured in the story. And I know that we all often feel like we don't need anybody, that we don't need friends and that sort of things, but the word says, one who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin. So if you have a friend and they're not reliable, remember, you can fall to ruins. So I hope that you all have found friends as close as me and my friend Gigi, because she truly is like a sister to me. So she's my sister friend. Gigi, I want to say I appreciate you. I love you. Congratulations again on your monetization. Always remember, until we meet again, and always remember, may his peace be with you until we meet again. And always remember, I have a will to live. Story time is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I will see you at the next story time. Good night.